Hey guys, so I wanted to do a video for you today on concealers, all of the ones that I have, the ones that I love, the ones that I'm not that big of a fan of, and what I use them for. Concealer is a girl's best friend in my opinion. If I leave the house with nothing else but like one or two products, let it be concealer and mascara. I rarely leave the house without mascara. No, I've said that wrong. I never leave the house without mascara, but I rarely leave the house without concealer. Concealer is great for so many different things. I'm sure you guys all know what concealer does, but it's great for blemishes, scarring, marks, bruises, bumps, brightening your under eyes, dark circles, waking you up, making you look way more awake than you are. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned and I will share with you my little overview of concealers. I will start with the MAC ones because I feel like those are the most popular. First up is the Studio Finish, and this is an NW25 and it comes in these little pots. And I have specifically only ever used this concealer for spot treatments and blemishes around my face. It's a little bit too thick to put under my eyes, and the couple times that I've done that, I have found it to kind of cake and crease, and I didn't like that. Because it does have like a nice thicker consistency. It does have really good staying power, blends out really well, and does cover pretty well. And NW is a pink undertones, and I think when I bought this I just wasn't educated on the differences between NW and NC. NW is pink undertones, NC is yellow undertones, and specifically to cover blemishes, I would go with an NC, which is a yellow shade, because yellow counteracts the redness, and that's what you want to use to cover it. I think you can use this under your eyes if you really wanted to, but you just have to blend it really well, and then I would even set it with like a concealer powder or an invisible powder, just because it could cake. Now, I don't know if you can see, obviously it's too light for my hand, but that's kind of how it looks once it's on. And I was just trying to cover up some of my blue veining just to show you what a nice job it does. So here's my blue vein and it's running through here. So it does a pretty good job of covering, and you can build it up, but this is a really nice little thing for blemishes. I don't really have blemishes, but if I did, I would definitely switch this out for an NC. I think when I originally bought this, I thought I was going to use it as an under eye, which is why I went for a W, because I wanted like the pink to contrast the blue and to brighten under my eyes. But looking back now, I would probably get an NC color. Next up is the Studio Sculpt Concealer, and I was all over this when it came out. You can see how much of it I've used. This is definitely a thicker concealer as well. However, it's extremely creamy. So this is one that you definitely should set with some kind of setting powder or powder flage, Bare Minerals Well Rested, something like that. Really good coverage, thicker coverage I feel like than the Studio Finish. And again, this was in the NW, which I don't know why I did that. So this is the Studio Sculpt, and this is the Studio Finish. I don't know if you can tell. But there's just to show you like the veinings. It does a pretty good job, but I would use that for blemishes as well. I've also used this a lot for redness. I have a ton of redness under my, like kind of in this little triangle area. And I use this all the time on that redness, sometimes like just to cover the redness up, and then I won't even wear foundation on my face, and I really love it for that. Other than that, there is the, I don't even think I have it anymore, it's the MAC Select Studio Finish Concealer. I don't even know what it's called. It's in like a lip gloss tube. That was my favorite for under eye concealer. It was really light and creamy, but had really nice coverage and staying power under the eyes. It had a doe foot applicator, and I would just kind of dab it and then just blend it in with my finger or a brush. And I really, really love that. But I ran out of it and I never repurchased it because I had so many other concealers that I wanted to use up. One of my very favorite concealers is this one by Gemma. I found this at Target. It's actually a dual-ended product. It has concealer on one end, and that's, you could tell how much of it I've used. And then like a nice frosty highlighter on the other end. I'm not a huge fan of the frosty highlighter, but it's nice to have. This is in the color 01 Fair Mid, and I think there's only 2 colors in this range. This is definitely on the more yellowy undertone side, and again, I love this stick for just putting it over my redness areas and then blending it out with a brush, a beauty blender, my fingers, whatever. This is a pretty full coverage concealer, but I like it because it's just very creamy, but at the same time it's very, very full coverage. And it blends out really nicely. It has really good staying power, and it looks really natural. I got this from Lush a little while ago. It's the Color Supplement in the dark yellow multi-purpose color base. I think for a while there, Lush was trying to break into the world of cosmetics, and I picked this up, and it's okay, but it's not my favorite. This is incredibly, what do I want to say? Not watery, but very liquidy. So it takes a little bit of while to kind of blend and set, but being that it is a nice yellow tone color, it does cancel out the redness in my face. I use that as like an extreme backup, like when I'm all out of concealers, or, you know, I do just want like a really good coverage over the redness. I might just put that on like the certain areas where I have redness. But I wouldn't say it's like a must-have or a favorite of mine. Okay, let's talk about the YSL Touche Eclat in the color number 2 in Radiant Touch. It's one of these click ones. I think this gets mistaken a lot for a concealer when really it's not a concealer. It's more of a brightener. I use this over top of my under eye concealer, and I kind of just dab it in, and it just brightens your under eyes. I put it like right here under my brow bone. You can go down the bridge of your nose or your cheekbones. I love the concept of this, but not a product I'd repurchase. It's I think about $45. I will say I love this so much better than the Milani one, only because this does not get clogged at all. Like with my Milani one, it was like building up, like almost like the Stella lip glazes, which I also am not a fan of for that reason. Whenever you have the click pens, the product I feel like builds up on the brush, and it just wastes a lot. But not with this product. So if you're worried about that, which is what I was, which is why I didn't buy it for the longest time, you don't have to worry about it. However, I don't think it's an amazing holy grail product worth whatever the price tag of it is. I honestly would just stick to like Benefit's Eye Bright if you wanted like a brightening effect under the eyes. I just don't think, I mean, you're paying for the name and the packaging basically. Okay, and last up are probably my favorite concealers, and the ones that I am loyal to, will continue to be loyal to, the ones that I have repurchased and will continue to repurchase, the best ones I feel like out on the market, and they are by Bobbi Brown, Miss Bobbi Brown. These are still my first ones that I bought, but I definitely have hit pan on both of them. She now makes a little duo set where it's like one packaging and they're both in there, but when I purchased these, that wasn't the case. What I love about Bobbi Brown products is it's so easy. It's so easy to color match yourself. She basically has a chart. They color tested me, and I think I was natural at the time, which was number 4, and they look at the chart and they say if you're number 4, then you're this color corrector and this color concealer. Easy as pie. It's not like they're trying to try all these different products out on you, and they just work. Bobbi Brown's products are all yellow tone undertones, yellow based undertones, no pink. Even her powders are a yellow based powder because yellow cancels out redness. That might not be great for a lot of people that don't have a lot of redness in their skin or don't have yellowy undertone skin and do have the more fair pink tone skin or a lot of like blue veining or dark under eye circles. Might not be the best thing for you, but for me, this is the product that I have found to just work for me and look really fresh and flawless and like natural, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I have the corrector in light to medium bisque and the creamy concealer in warm beige. Basically the whole concept of this is the corrector is to neutralize any redness, dark under eye circles, spots, imperfections. It neutralizes it, makes it all even. Then the concealer obviously is to conceal whatever you're trying to neutralize. So I, in the beginning, used the system in that way where I would put the concealer down, put the corrector down, you know, over my blemishes, and then I would pack on the concealer on top of it. But I've actually enjoyed using them separately now. So what I've been doing is I actually use the creamy concealer under my eyes and over top my redness, and it completely covers and cancels redness and I don't really get dark circles, but the days that I like, you know, didn't get a great amount of sleep the night before, I would put the corrector under my eyes because it is yellow based and it totally makes you look awake and it makes you look fresh. And then I use the corrector for my blemishes, which at the moment, knock on wood, thank you God, I don't have any, but when the time comes that I do, I would reach for the corrector because it neutralizes it, and I've never really had really severe breakouts or acne scarring where I really needed to like pile on the concealer. The corrector pretty much does the trick for me, and then I just go over it with a powder, or I would just use my foundation and then dab a little bit of the corrector on over the dark spot or scar or blemish or whatever, and then either set it with a powder or just let it go. It almost like melts into your skin and blends in so nicely with your foundation that's what I use these two products for, and I absolutely love them. I feel like the corrector is a little bit more lightweight than the concealer. The concealer can be a little bit on the heavy side, but you can definitely sheer it out, blend it out. You can take moisturizer to sheer it out. But on the days that I don't really feel like wearing foundation, I don't really like the redness, so I'll just use my concealer over the redness and then just do some bronzer and some maybe like invisible setting powder or something. But these are Holy Grail material. I think they were about $22 each. I have bought backups at the CCO, and I don't know how much they were, obviously at a discount, but I know you can get the little duo now, and I don't know how much that is. And you can also get the creamy concealer with the set powder on the bottom. But I have so many different setting powders and junk that I didn't want to, you know, pay for the bigger product with the powder because I don't really need it. But I would definitely try these out, highly recommend it. I just feel like Bobbi Brown is the counter you want to go to when you want your most natural and you want to look the most like you. Her makeup is, it's like skin. It looks like you. It makes you look like yourself. And I love that about her makeup, and I think that's a huge reason why I love her concealer so much, because it doesn't look like you're wearing concealer and it just really perfects your skin. And it's great. So I know this was a lot of talk about concealer. I'm actually concealered out. I really haven't ever had any other desire to try others. For a little while I was curious about Clé de Peau because I think that was all the rave at the time, but now I'm kind of over it. I think the next one I buy, if and when the time comes that I start breaking out, would be the Bobbi Brown Touch-Up Stick, because I like the concept of it and I've heard really good things about it. But other than that, I'm pretty much set with concealer. I have backups of Bobbi Brown, and from here on out I'm just working on using up the other concealers that I have and just sticking to the two of my favorite ones. And just for those of you that don't believe in concealers, I just want to show you from putting all that slapping on all those different concealers, you could just see the difference in my hands. Like this one looks totally fake, and this one looks like a real hand. Now mind you, I have like, what do I have, like 4 or 5 different concealers on this hand, but you can definitely see what a difference the concealer makes in making your skin tone look even, look perfect, look flawless. So a lot of times I just skip the foundation and I just use a basic concealer, and sometimes that's all you need. So don't always think that you need to cake on the foundation to make your skin look nice. Really, if you have a good concealer, it's like the same with foundation. You don't need to put foundation everywhere on your face. Like, just focus on the points that you need it. Like, I always go like definitely under here, around my nose and mouth, and then whatever's left over I take up on my forehead. But my forehead's pretty okay for the most part, so I wouldn't conceal or put foundation up there for no reason, like just to even my face out. If you have a good product and you have the right color match, if you just conceal under here and even this out, in my case even my redness out, the rest of your face should match perfectly if you have the right color match. So that is it. I'm sick and tired of talking about concealers, as I'm sure you all are. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!